welcome. This is the cast iron cooking up sales session 2. We are talking about writing product descriptions. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay here on YouTube. We're having, this is this has been a whole fun experience. I'm excited to be sharing this content with you all. If you are, like I said, watching the replay, then make sure that you check in the captions area for a link to the previous video, as well as any other links for future sessions that may come into play pretty soon here. But welcome everybody. This is Cooking Up Sales with Cast Iron. I'm Sid of the Sugar Coin Academy. And this is the agenda for today. We're going to have a brief introduction, and then we're going to talk about the purpose of this session. And then we're going to talk about description elements to help you with, writing some full and complete sales-worthy product descriptions. And then there's a time for a Q&A. All right. Okay, so introduction. I'm Sid, and I am a business coach for folks in the food and beverage space. Specifically, I talk to folks in the past, few years about the sweets industry, but of course, I could help you guys if you are any area of the food industry, because that's the industry that I've studied and love and have been supporting for since 2014. So welcome. And like I said, I'm Sid. I went to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill for undergrad, as well as for grad school. I went to the Keenan Flagler Business School. I am an accountant by trade, but I quit all of that years ago to be able to help support small business owners like yourself, figure out how to start and grow profitable businesses in the food and beverage space. So my whole background is in accounting and financial analysis, and these are all the brands that I work with currently. Of course, I have SweetFest, which is a business services program for folks in the baking and sweets industry. I have the Sugar Coin Academy, which is the one with the little piggy, and that is our training program. It's a business training program for folks in the industry. And then we've got the Ultimate Sugar Show, as well as I'm the business blogger for American Cake Decorating Magazine and the Retail Bakers of America. And now I'm a partner and an ambassador with Cast Iron as well. So this is what I do in a nutshell. So there we go. We're going to have Emily on here. She's usually in the background supporting us, making sure that we have everything we need. She's been doing a lot of the back end stuff, but also Emily is a resource to you guys. All right. So because you have signed up for Cooking Up Sales with Cast Iron, you can reach out to Emily specifically to help you with building your store on Cast Iron. And there is a lot of resources out there on their blog. They have a support, kind of knowledge base as well, where you can find information. But if you still need a little bit more support and help, Emily is there to help you out. This is her contact information to get in touch with her. And then I'm also going to send out a follow-up email to those of you who pre-registered for this session so that you can get in contact with her directly. Okay, so I will send her contact information out, but I at least wanted you guys to put a face with a name. This is Emily. She works with Cast Iron. She's on the marketing team, and she's here to help all of us out. All right. Also, if you are watching the replay on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to Cast Iron. Even if you're watching this live, make sure you go to YouTube and search for Cast Iron, and you'll find them there, and push subscribe. They do have a YouTube channel. That's where the replays are being posted as well. And then, of course, I want you to follow or subscribe to Sugar Coin Academy also on YouTube. Okay, so YouTubers, make sure you hit us in the comments and make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things that YouTube does. All right. Okay, so today's purpose, the purpose for today's class. The purpose of this training is to provide guidance and insights on how to create buy now inspiring product descriptions that promote online sales in your food business. In this training, we will focus on essential elements to include in your product descriptions for use on your website or your other marketing channels. Obviously, you have other places where you are promoting your products, your services, such as Instagram and Facebook and wherever else, TikTok, Pinterest. All the things that I'm talking about can also help you with writing your captions as well. Now, you won't put exactly the same thing in like a social media post or as you would on your website, but still some of these elements are very essential for you to talk about when it comes to promoting your products online, okay? So we're going to talk about the description elements. Description elements. In the previous session, we discussed the lack of trust that can be a sales barrier in your business, and it can keep you from marketing sales online. Okay, making sales online. All right. So we talked about, I think it was 5 sales barriers in the previous session. And today we're going to talk about 5 description elements as well to help you with your product descriptions. But one of the things we talked about in last session was a lack of trust and how people are not going to purchase from someone online, especially if they don't have that trust with you, right? Because there's too much out there of credit card scam and everything else. They want to make sure that if they are purchasing from a website that they are not familiar with, that they have that type of trust. And most of these scammy looking websites don't go the extra mile and give all the other bells and whistles to build that trust. And so we want to make sure that you have that in your arsenal on your website. Okay. Okay, so enticing and informative product descriptions can build anticipation, address customer concerns, and answer questions up front. So a lot of times I talk to folks and they talk about, customers, don't visit their frequently asked questions. They ask the same questions all the time. They send out emails, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you have your website up and running where you have your products for them to easily purchase, go directly to a product and, click a buy link or buy button, then what you can include in that is to answer some of those questions that they already have in mind. All right. So if you have a very enticing, appetizing description, as well as a description that is very informative, it's going to build the trust. It's going to build anticipation. They're going to get excited about the purchase. It's going to answer some of their questions for them up front. And then that actually keeps you from having to do administrative work on the back end, repeating yourself and answering the same questions. Okay. 5. In this session, we're going to discuss 5 elements to include in your product description. Okay. Pro tip here is I want you to use a combination of each of these elements to create a description with 3 to 5 sentences or with 5 to 7 bullet points. All right. I don't want to say I just threw that number out there, but this is like a really good foundation for a product description. If you have just one line, I want you to push it. Like if you have the capacity to put more characters, I want you to push it. I don't want you to just put one sentence. You need to give more information so that you can build that trust. All right. So the first element is sensory words. Okay. First element is sensory words. Okay. Sensory words appeal to the reader's senses: smell, taste, touch, sight, and sound. All right. I'm going to give you an example of some sensory words that you can use. Okay. So sensory words. Okay. Sensory words help buyers experience your product virtually, which promotes the move from browser to buyer. Okay. Example of sensory words are baked, broiled, buttery, covered, creamy, crunchy, decadent, delicious, flaky, flavorful, fluffy, fried, juicy, marinated, moist, mouthwatering, nutty, savory, smooth, smothered, sweet, toasty, velvety, whipped. There's so many more, but I gave you all of these. And now I'm hungry. All right. So if I'm sitting here just reading off this description, which it is dinner time here, I'm reading off just words then I'm already getting hungry. I can only imagine then when I put that with a picture or a video, then that's going to put everything over the top for your customer, okay? And if you see down at the bottom, I have a typo, and I'm gonna explain the typo because as I was thinking through this, writing this out, I originally had this point as sensory adjectives as opposed to sensory words. And then as I was coming up with the words, and I realized that they're not just adjectives, they actually could be used as verbs as well, right? So that being the point, baked, right? So you could say that it's, bakes, slow baked over, I don't know if you have like a rib place, maybe it's like slowly baked over 12 hours or roasted over 12 hours or whatever, right? So some of these words can be used as adjectives to describe something, or they can be used as verbs as well. So like if you, you have fried donuts, which right now that's an adjective, but, or you could fry donuts. So either way, my point being, these are sensory words. These are touching the senses. All right. You can have words that have the sense of smell to it. I already know what vanilla is. I already know what pumpkin spice smells like, that type of stuff. All right. Cool. So sensory words is number one. Number two is benefits. Okay. I want you to provide benefits in your product description. Okay. In relationship to your offerings, a benefit is a value that a customer will receive when they purchase the item from you. Okay. It's a value that they receive when they purchase the item from you. Okay. Although the basic benefit of purchasing any food item is that the customer will no longer be hungry, that is not really a big enough reason for someone to purchase a specialty food item from you specifically, especially if they could easily get it from somewhere more convenient, okay? Because I could order something from Amazon and it'll be here tomorrow, right? So, or I could go down the street and I can get a milkshake from the closest, Dairy Queen or whatever, right? So we want to make sure that it's not just, oh, well, it's going to satisfy your craving, but it's going to be something else beyond that. And I'm going to give you some more examples for that as well. Okay. Product benefits can be broken into various categories to help you craft a more complete product description. All right. So we're going to break down the benefits into different categories, and then we can talk about those as well. Okay. So category examples is availability, convenience, customer service, a general experience, health and wellness, safety, and style. Now, these are not the only category benefit, like the only benefit categories that are out there, but these are the ones that came up off the top of my head, right, as I was doing my research. But even if, let's say, if this was a product that was on your website, which could easily be on your website, right? So you have happy birthday cupcakes. All right. So if we're talking about availability, then we need to figure out, are these available at any time throughout the year? Are they available only Monday through Fridays? Are they only available for pickup on Fridays? We need to understand what are the benefits, right, for me to have it, and availability is going to be one of those things. Okay. Another thing too, does it come with a topper? Right? That's very convenient for me. If I want a place that I can easily buy cupcakes for my office that have happy birthday on them, then the fact that it includes a topper needs to be in the product description. Okay. When it comes to customer service, is this something that's going to be hand delivered for me? Will there be a thank you card or a happy birthday note that I can include with it? That's something you want to put in your description as well. Okay. What about the experience? Now that to me goes back to, your sensory words, right? So your experience could be that it is flavorful, or that the buttercream is buttery and it's rich and it's smooth and silky. And, the cake has a great crumb and it'll melt in your mouth, right? So that's a whole experience for me. Okay. Health and wellness is something like, that's going to be of interest for those of you who have a specific brand niche, such as like a gluten-free or a vegan or a keto or something like that. Like if you specialize in something that is related to health and wellness, then that's something that you'll want to touch on in your product description, that this flavor is also available in gluten-free. Okay. When it comes to safety, especially as it relates to COVID-19, people want to know that you have the, particular skill set in order to protect them, right? Like you are certified in, oh gosh, why can't I? Serve Safe certified, you have your cottage food license, or you work out of a commercial kitchen, something to that extent that explains to people that you are not just some person who just randomly up and started selling treats and cakes and pizzas and everything else out of your kitchen, like out of your home kitchen, but no, you've gone through the process to get certified and to get training in order to provide the safest experience possible. Okay. Another category is the style. So, what colors can I get it in? What other sprinkle options are there? Can I get it in, can I get this cupcake in a different color wrapper? Like, what are the other style pieces that are going to match for me? If I'm doing this for my best friend's baby shower and you offer a pink version and a blue version, or if this is for a gender reveal, then I would want to know that inside of the product description. Okay, so these are different categories within benefits that you want to touch on when you are writing your description. Okay, logistics. Details around location, dates, and times are often overlooked, but they are a key component, when it comes to online sales. And I will tell you, this is probably one of my biggest pet peeves about when people DIY their website. Now, I am all for folks DIYing their website. That's why I love Cast Iron, because you can do it on your own. At this point, you don't have to pay anybody to do a website for you when there's so many free resources out there, or you don't have to pay somebody a whole lot in order to, make it look nice. Now, once you get to a certain level and you want it to be, do all the bells and whistles or whatever, then that's a whole nother thing. But when you are first starting out, or when your business is still growing, then, DIYing your website is always good to go, especially because there's templates and because places make it easy. But one of the things that I can't stand is that there are people miss out on the opportunity to share their location. I actually was searching on several different, I won't say any names, but several different websites that I found within our industry. And I realized that they didn't have their location. So as a customer, I don't even know if I can purchase from them, or if it's even an option for me to purchase from them. And that's something that's such a small detail. Matter of fact, earlier today, too, I came across a post where someone was sharing about some sale they were having, a grand opening sale. The address, the location was nowhere on the flyer. It was nowhere in the caption. It was nowhere. Okay, so don't forget that everybody does not live in your neighborhood. Okay, don't forget that there are people who live on the other side of the world that may come across your post, and you need to update your locations and make it known for folks where what your service areas are, what your service area is, as well as what your dates and times of availability are. Okay, so that's part of logistics. Since the internet can be accessed by anyone, anywhere, at any time, you need to highlight logistical details such as your location and times inside of your product description. Yes, it's great to have it on your general website, like in the footer or maybe on the home page, but you also want to make sure that inside of your individual product descriptions that you highlight that this is available for delivery or pickup or whatever it is within a particular area, so that just in case that person doesn't go digging all over your website, that when they come to your product page, then they know exactly where your availability is. Okay. So not only is this important for the reader, is also important for SEO purposes, right? If you're not familiar with SEO, that's okay, because you will be pretty soon, because I have a little announcement later. Okay, but I do talk about search engine optimization quite a bit inside of the Sugar Coin Academy, and I will be sharing with Cast Iron here pretty soon as well. All right, but search engine optimization is a set of practices designed to improve your ranking in organic search results. All right, and SEO is not just important for your website. It is not just important for Google. It's also important for YouTube, for Facebook, for Instagram, for most of these other platforms out here, social media platforms. If you see a search bar and there's an ability for someone to search, then that means that there is a search engine involved. Okay, and so you need to know these skills, not just for your website, but for marketing your business online in general. Okay, so search engine optimization is a set of things that you can do to help you increase your rank when it comes to someone searching for you organically anywhere on the internet. Okay, all right, if you have a local business, you should make sure to mention your service location as much as possible on your website and social media so that you can build an online association between your business and that location. Again, this goes back to search engine optimization. Basically, think of it like a game, right? Like, so the more times that you put it out there that Sweets by Sid is in Atlanta, Georgia, the more times that that comes up on the internet, the better. It's like a point in the game every time that association is made. Okay, so think about that. We're gonna talk about more search engine optimization stuff later down the road, but for now, just keep that in mind. It's almost like a point. Try to just add them together as much as you can. Okay. All right. So on the Cast Iron website, this is a picture from the back end. Then there are 3 options that are related to logistics. All right. So the fulfillment type, you can do local pickup, you can do local delivery, or you can provide shipping as the fulfillment options. Okay. And the other cool part is you can associate different fees related to that as well within each fulfillment type. Okay, so if you go to Cast Iron, if you go into the back end, then you can find the fulfillment area. I believe it's under the account settings, but I'll let Emily touch more on that. But you will be able to find that, and even if you can't, go to the support tab, the support area, and type in fulfillment, and it'll pop up there as well. That's where I found this picture, actually, because I didn't want to show the one that was on my own back end. But anyway, so you can see over here on the right hand side, you can add a delivery fee if you want to, and you can add an order minimum if you want to as well. Okay, and so that order minimum is basically like you are required to order up to, looks like $30 for this person, up to $30 before we will even offer you a delivery. Okay. Okay, so items to keep in mind when it comes to logistics that you want to try to include in your product descriptions. Pickup situation, is it available for pickup? Is it available for delivery? If it is available for pickup, are you going to offer the location within that? Are they going to get an email about where the location is? Do you have if you have a storefront, obviously the location is the location, but if you are someone who's doing like a pop-up shop, or maybe you pop up somewhere in order to do your pickups, then let that be known, right? That it's going to be provided later. When it comes to delivery, do you have a certain delivery radius? And if you do have a certain delivery radius, if you go outside of that radius, is it an extra fee, or is it just not even an option to go outside of the radius, period? Okay. Do you provide shipping? And if you provide shipping, where do you ship? Nationwide, within your own state. If you have a cottage business, then maybe you can't ship outside of the state. So, explain that as well in the product description. Now, I'm not saying that this, again, my pro tip earlier was that you provide 3 to 5 sentences or 5 to 7 bullets. I'm not saying that you have to go down, like have to make these complete sentences. You can do a mix and match. So maybe you can say, pickup available or delivery available or something like that, just as little bullets, just to keep that in mind. Okay, so what are the times and dates that these things are available to be picked up or received? Maybe you don't want to share that specifically, and maybe your product description has gotten too big, but you know, a general ballpark, you know, a pickup available between, you know, 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., that type of stuff. All right. And then also next steps, like what am I going to do after I purchase this product? Am I going to get an email from you to, you know, set up my pickup time? Or is there going to be some type of text notification when my order is ready? Like what's going to happen after I place this order? Go ahead and put that in the description as well, if you have that process in place. Okay. So then the next one is flavors and ingredients. Okay, flavors and ingredients. All right, everyone, again, going back to the DIYers, which I'm a DIYer, everyone remembers to include the flavor when writing product descriptions, all right? However, you should go a step further to improve your sales, right? Like you can't just say a chocolate chip cookie, or you can if you want to, but if you're trying to have a buy now worthy product description, then you need to go beyond just it's a chocolate chip cookie. Matter of fact, I did a fun thing in my story earlier today over on Instagram at sweet_fest. And I put it in there. Like, I just wanted to hear what everybody would say as it relates to this cookie picture. Like, how would you describe that? We're going to show the cookie picture later in the slides as well. But you got to go further than just it's a chocolate chip cookie. Okay. All right. Consider the ingredients and the unseen parts, right? Because people are engaging with your website online. They may not have ever tasted your cookies and treats before. They may have only heard about it from a friend, or maybe they just randomly found you on a Google search. So now you have to explain to them like what else might be in this item that I'm purchasing from you that I can't just see. Okay. So consider the ingredients and unseen parts of the product and share those details in your description. Everybody's, matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I did a post just on my personal Facebook page about what was included in folks' carrot cake, right? And man, I didn't realize it was going to start a debate. Like some people were like, raisins don't belong in a carrot cake, and other people like pecans don't belong in a carrot cake. And so everybody doesn't make carrot cake the same way. Everybody doesn't make red velvet cake or top red velvet cake in the same way. Some people use cheesecake, you know, cheesecake board, cream cheese frosting, and others may use vanilla frosting. So you want to make sure that you are very clear with what is involved in your items that they're purchasing. Okay. Don't forget. Okay. Don't forget. Remember to remark on potential allergens and dietary requirements if that's something that is related to your product. Okay, so cast iron does have where you can say what type of allergens are on there. So that is a great benefit that you can add on to each of your products. But in the same way, like if you have something that's vegan, or if you have something that is gluten-free or something like that, that can fit within a particular dietary requirement, you want to include that as well. Okay. And then this is the badge. These are the badges that you can have available on your shop just as a general for your business. Let's say if you do have a gluten-free kitchen, or you have an allergy-friendly kitchen, you can have that on there. But then under each individual product, you can highlight the allergens as well. Okay. Size and servings definitely is something that you want to include. And again, on my brief search of the interwebs of folks, you know, bakery businesses and foodie businesses, I saw some really beautiful pictures of products, and the descriptions didn't even tell me how many servings I was going to get. They didn't tell me if this was a single cupcake I was purchasing or if this was a dozen cupcakes that I was purchasing, and that would have been helpful. Right? So size and servings, you definitely want to include in your description. Okay. Most online shoppers will tell you that looks can be deceiving. How many times have we gone on Amazon and we thought the pictures looked great, and then we ordered something and we forgot to look at the reviews, and then we got it and then it's not what we thought it was going to be. That's been me before, right? So build trust with your customers by explaining what they can expect when they purchase this item. What are they going to get when they come to pick it up or when you deliver it? All right. All right, keep in mind that your customers may be serving guests or hosting an event. More than likely that's possible, especially if you are a person who does like custom cakes or treats or something like that, or if you do catering, then they definitely want to know how many people this thing that they're ordering is going to serve, all right? So knowing upfront how many attendees will be able to enjoy your product will help shoppers make the decision to buy or how much to buy from you, right? Because they may be on your website and they may see this lovely set of cookies and they have in their mind that they're going to get this amount, but it's actually going to be less. And maybe they would have purchased more from you if they would have known that this, cookie set is only going to feed so-and-so number of people, or it only includes so many number of cookies. Don't assume that just because you have a beautiful picture that they will believe, well, I must be getting 6 cookies, whereas maybe they only get one of the cookies from the set. I don't know. I'm just throwing examples out there. Okay. So to recap. First, next month, we're going to talk about climbing the ranks on search. Okay. So, keep that in mind, especially if you see an email come out from me. In a minute, we're going to go over an example, but I want to highlight this before I forget. Next month, we're going to do climbing the ranks on search. I think I hinted at it earlier, but I want you guys to be able to understand more about how this is all connected with what you should write in your descriptions, what you should put on your social media, and all of that goes into you being able to be found on places like Google or Facebook or whatever other social media is exciting by this point that you're watching the replay, right? All right, so this was the picture that I shared in my stories. I haven't had a chance to go back and check to see what people have said, but I kind of already know what the comments are going to be because I've done this for so long. So to recap, and then I'm going to describe this cookie, right? How I would write a product description. And this is literally going to be off the top of my head now, y'all. Okay, so we'll see what happens. And maybe we can come up with one together as a group, okay? So 5 essential description elements: sensory words, benefits, logistics, flavors and ingredients, sizes, and servings. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is I'll give you guys 30 seconds or so to write either in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on replay, and tell me a description. I'm gonna give y'all some points. So this is a dozen cookies, and this is, let's see, brown butter chocolate chip cookies, and I live in Atlanta. Okay, so, and they're, yeah, boom. I hope I gave you enough. I hope I gave you enough. So I'm going to be interested to see what you guys say. So write that in the chat, or write just like an example description in the comments based off of what we've already discussed. Maybe like 2 sentences. I'm not going to give you, I won't force you to do the whole full thing, but let me see. Let's see what we come up with. I'll give you like, a couple minutes to write up, using what you've learned about these cookies. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys keep chatting and I'll be waiting for your reply. But this is what I would say. And this is, again, off the top of my head. All right. So maybe enjoy our flavorful brown butter chocolate chip cookies baked fresh in our commercial kitchen in Atlanta, Georgia. It is available for pickup on Fridays and Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. They're available in a pack of 6 or a pack of 12. And let's see, what else the benefits are. Oh, don't worry about making your own dessert this weekend. You can enjoy a pack of our brown butter chocolate chip cookies that also have an option to add in nuts, pecans, and save yourself some time in the kitchen for dinner and offer these as your dessert for your family. Boom. Seemed kind of lengthy, but it gave all the deets, right? So I hit on the location, I hit on when things are available, I hit on the flavors, and some other alternatives, such as you can add pecans if you want. I gave the serving sizes and so forth. And I talked about pecans because that's something that you wouldn't necessarily even notice in the picture. Okay, so how was that as a description? Would you want to buy these brown butter cookies if you were in Atlanta, Georgia? Yes, maybe, hopefully. Hopefully I can get a sale from you. Go to my cast iron store. I'm sold, right? Right. So, but I mean, you guys see it like live in the flesh, right? Because I gave the sensory words, I gave the benefits. You're going to save time. It's very convenient. I don't know about you guys, but my family always eats dessert after dinner. And so now I can pick up these, delicious golden brown cookies that were made with, delicious, nutty, flavorful brown butter, so on and so forth. I know that I need to pick them up. Something else I didn't say was, where is my location, but, again, I said I was in Atlanta, Georgia. So at least that got us started as opposed to being in Seattle, Washington. So now my target audience who may be reading this product description can be like, okay, well, that's not an option to me because I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, right? Okay, so I hope this helps. I know it's kind of short notice trying to get you guys to write a description. That's okay. I'll be looking out for descriptions in the comments on the YouTube channel. Oh, wait, Liz says chewy, buttery, brown butter chocolate chip cookies available for your enjoyment in the Miami area, Thursday through Sunday. Treat yourself to a decadent bite. Liz, look at you, girl. I love it. I love it. Very straightforward. Yes, claps for Liz. I'm with you, Emily. Very straightforward. It tells me about the flavors that I can expect. It tells me where I can get it. It tells me when I can get it. And of course, when you say treat yourself to a decadent bite, you got me there. Okay. So live and in the flesh, I hope that these tips really helped you guys with being able to write better descriptions for your products, and that will inform your customers as well as interest them and entice them and make them want to purchase from you. Okay. Let's see if I can get one more. Questions. Yes, questions, Q&A. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or put them in the comments, and I will help you out as well. And like I said, this is Emily again. She's in the chat. She's also probably the one that's monitoring the captions and the comments over on YouTube. So make sure that you hit up Emily if you have any questions or need any help with setting up your website. And I'm going to be sending an email out to everybody who pre-registered for this session to connect you guys with Emily. She's literally available to help you guys with setting up your website on cast iron. So don't get freaked out by the technical side of it. And you're like, well, I don't know if I can do it. I'm not a techie person, which I've heard from people before. Emily and the group at Cast Iron are making themselves available to do this for you for free. Okay, this is not at an additional cost. It is a free service that they offer to help you get set up. Okay. Ask me if you need anything. That's what Emily says. Please forward Emily's info to me. Yes, definitely, Adrian, I will. So make sure that you sign up for today's session that you already obviously signed up if you got the link. But if you are watching if you're watching the replay, then definitely make sure to, use this email address and email Emily directly. Help plus cooking up sales at castiron.me is a direct line to Emily to get her to help you with setting things up on cast iron. Yes, good. All hearts and minds clear. we covered so much. We covered so much. All right, let's go back. This is one last recap. Sensory words, benefits, logistics, flavor and ingredients, size and servings. All right, this, you guys, will give you the 3 to 5 sentences you need. I gave you, what was it? 24, I believe, sensory words that you can start with, but you can also literally Google sensory words for food or something, and other words will come up that will help you with providing these descriptions. But I hope that this was a great place for you to get started. Okay. Sophia says, thank you. Awesome info. Nancy says, yes, this was awesome. Thank you. Perfect. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. All right. You guys are great. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And also keep an eye out on either the Cast Iron Instagram page or with the Sweet Fest Instagram page, or even on the group inside of on Facebook. They have the kitchen with Cast Iron. Is a private Facebook group. You can join there, and we'll be posting more about what the next session, when the next session will be. And of course, it's going to be about search engine optimization, which I absolutely love to talk about, as a close second to websites, and then somewhere around email marketing. One of those kind of hand in hand are my favorite things to talk about. Okay. Oh, Emily just dropped the link in the chat. And also, I'm sure if you check the captions on YouTube, then you could probably find this link there as well. It's facebook.com/groups/the kitchen community. And that is the private group for Cast Iron. So, and I'm hanging out in there, Emily's in there, a whole host of other folks who have websites on Cast Iron, as well as some other business coaches that support Cast Iron are in there as well to answer questions and be available to you guys. Okay. So thank you again so much for hanging out. I will email you a follow-up sometime tomorrow morning, and that will have Emily's information as well as any other important links that you may need, whether it's the replay and so forth. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.